Some people were asking about how to notify parents if there's an update to the bulletin board. There's not really an automatic way to do that. What you have to do is create either a news event or an announcement. And those have the capability to create notifications to the parents if they have those turned on, and we'll talk about that in a second. But you'll notice on my bulletin board I've got a news section and an announcement section. I thought I'd show the difference between the two, how they act. So if I go to add a new one, you'll notice right off of the top, send notification is a checkbox. It is checked by default, and it will trigger a notification being sent. But while I'm here, let me just back out of here for a second and show you what it looks like to the parent. So here's my news section, and I've given this section the title, give it its own, this whole block its own name. And then you'll notice that I'm naming these. I'm trying different names because I want to get people to click on these. It's not readily apparent that that's a link. If you don't mouse over it, it doesn't look like a link necessarily. It looks like a subhead. So I actually put in the words "click here." You may want to try that. It does when you click on it. It breaks out. It creates a new window. It's still titled whatever you named that headline, but this gives them its own reading pane. There's nothing else to distract them. That's one way to do it. That is in the news block, and you'll see that I've embedded a picture in a couple of these. This issue, the 10/15 one, does not have any picture in it. This one does, and I used bullet points on this. So you get some ideas on what you can do. Announcements are a little different in that when you create an announcement, it zips everything up. It's pretty clear that you have to click on this to see it, and when you do, it just expands the window to show the content of that announcement. Now, some people were asking if there's a way to create these newsletters so that they can archive them, so that they can leave them up here and enable parents to go back through the history. This way would do that without stretching your page, making your page go on and on and on. You just have to maybe put something in the title, click on the heading to see this week's announcements, or something to give them a clue that they have to click on it. But maybe that's more intuitive than it is with the news features. Now let's go behind the scenes. And if we look at announcements, the way these are constructed, I'll do the same thing and add one. And again, you'll notice that right up at the top, you can choose to send a notification or not. I would, and you probably want to be strategic in how you name these headlines. Maybe do it by week or put the date right there on it. And if you want to put the words "click here" to see this week's announcements, maybe that would help guide them a little bit. You don't need to put an author. You see there's no asterisk there to compel you to do so. Remember that you can select publish dates if you want to front load these. If you want to build out this announcement on Friday and then have it published on Monday, you can have it do that so that it goes out on a particular day. So that's how you do announcements and headlines, and how to send notifications out. As I had mentioned earlier, it's really important that parents understand that they do need to have their settings set up correctly to receive the notifications you're sending out, which they do by going under Settings, Notifications, and then choosing to receive via email and or text. Under the announcements category, if that's how you're sending them, I go to Edit Options, and under My Child's Groups, they should just check all of these off unless athletics is not relevant to them, but at least academics and activity. So that you will, especially for academics, that's how they're going to get notifications from your bulletin board. And in some cases, if you're doing an after-school activity or something, you may be sending notifications that way too. But that applies to announcements, if that's the tool you're using on your bulletin board, and news as well. So they'll check the options under there, and under My Child's Groups, academics and probably activity. Wouldn't hurt to check all of these. So I will be sending out some more parent training along those lines, but it's good for you to know that as well, so you can guide your parents in getting the notifications.